Ladies and gentlemen, we're here.
I'm part of the Kliq, isn't everybody?
Yes! 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 I got an idea, yeah. Beat up John Cena!
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Too sweet! Here goes the mother! This is where the power lies!
I am the man.
We need if you can survive!
It's showtime, folks!
The following episode is scheduled for one fall, and it is for your listening pleasure. This is In The Kliq.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, and joining me once again is my brother Tommy. How's it going, Tommy?
I'm good. How you doing?
And joining us virtually once again, our good brother from Pro Wrestling 101 on Instagram. It's Richard. How's it going, Richard?
Oh, hey guys, I'm doing real good. How are you?
Doing phenomenal.
Splendid.
Or the Phenom-esque. I don't know. I'm trying to think of Undertaker puns.
You quickly started this off like Byron Saxton.
What? Stuttering and just a mess.
40 lines.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold up cue cards for Stone Cold next. But
Tommy, kick him in the balls, Tommy.
Yes. But thank you again, everyone, for joining us on a very special episode of In The Kliq. As always, remember, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and follow us Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube at In The Kliq, inthekliq@gmail.com. But I say special because here we are. Survivor Series 2020 is in the books now, but also the farewell show to the Phenom Undertaker. So as always, we will break down this pay-per-view, give our thoughts, the highlights, the lowlights, and talk about the very last segment, which we just saw wrap up not too long ago, the goodbye ceremony for the Undertaker. So as always, we'll start out big and work our way down through the card. So Richard, just kind of your initial thoughts on Survivor Series as a whole.
2 major thumbs up.
Really? Okay. Right.
I didn't dislike a thing on the show. I really thoroughly enjoyed the entire show.
Yeah, I was, other than maybe the Drew and Roman match, it was all clean victories, which I was kind of surprised. I thought there might be some more wonky finishes, overbooked finishes, just to kind of make up, because there's so many. It's like an all-star, like I said before, this is like an exhibition, a big all-star game of the best from WWE's roster, and I was kind of worried, like, how do you book some of these matches without the... Can some of these really people afford losses? And I was thinking, they might just overbook some finishes, and that way you can kind of make up someone taking a pin, but they still look strong in defeat. But I was surprised. A lot of clean victories here, and we'll go over all that. Tommy, how about you? Anything overall, just your thoughts on Survivor Series?
I thought it was tremendous. The presentation was quite flawless, and quality matches up and down the card.
Yeah, I was thoroughly entertained. It was 3 packed hours of amazing wrestling, and then we had the whole goodbye ceremony for Undertaker as well. So we'll get into that. Just real quick, Richard, did you watch the kickoff show at all, or at least the Battle Royal part?
What do you think?
No.
Honestly, no.
So luckily for us, I was busy doing some work before the show, and I was like, it's like 3:30, 3:35, and I was like, crap. I mean, I'm guessing the 18-man dual battle royal was going to take place very soon, so luckily I turned it on the network, and literally like 2 minutes later, it was about to start. So pretty much like I think we predicted on our prediction videos that we did yesterday, it was pretty much a good portion of just the roster who were not booked in other matches for Survivor Series, just filling up the card. Typical battle royal, a lot of guys flying all over the place, hitting each other and whatnot. And I was shocked. I know Lars Sullivan, as I predicted yesterday. I thought Lars Sullivan might get the victory here. He was nowhere to be found in this match at all.
That's what I said. I knew he wasn't going to be in it. I knew it.
I was kind of hoping, a good way to kind of jumpstart him as a monster again, like just beat up a bunch of people in this battle royal. But nonetheless, Team Mysterio was one of the people that actually got an entrance with their theme song and stuff to the ring. So Dominic, Ray, and Buddy Murphy now, I guess, is loosely a son-in-law for Rey Mysterio. So they came in. They were doing a good job. Ray got eliminated pretty early, which I was kind of shocked by. But Dominic stayed to the very end, thought he won the match or won the battle royal. Miz comes running in and throws him over the ropes, and the Miz wins the battle royal. So I think another little accomplishment to his resume that can really he can add to, like, not only am I Mr. Money in the Bank now, I'm also the winner of the battle royal at Survivor Series. So just something for him to brag for his upcoming promos. But Dominic shows the rookie that he is. He was all cheering and celebrating, but no bell rang, and horse on him. You celebrate once the bell rings, then you're officially the winner. So hopefully it's a good learning moment for him, young Dominic Mysterio. So
still green.
Yeah, still very green, but I wonder if him and Buddy might be a tag team at some point. I wonder if that's what they're kind of going to maybe build towards for SmackDown. So we shall wait and see. All right, let's jump into the main show, which I was kind of surprised as well that the 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match between Team Raw and Team SmackDown for the men's side was the first match of the night. But wow, what a very fun match. As everyone listening right now who watched it, it was a clean sweep for Team Raw over SmackDown, but nonetheless, very entertaining. Richard, just your takeaways from this opening match.
I called it.
The clean sweep part?
I knew it was going to be a clean sweep. I mean, look at those guys. I mean, everyone on that team, if I thought if they didn't get a clean sweep, they'd probably have Riddle or Sheamus eat the victory. But
yeah.
At the same time, they're building both of them pretty strong right now. Yeah. So it just didn't make sense for any of them to lose.
Yeah.
And you look at the other team, and it's, they can all afford to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, as we talked about on our predictions video, so we were a little surprised, or I was surprised at least, that Big E was not part of Team SmackDown, but I guess it kind of makes sense that the rumor was they didn't want him to eat a loss or a pin in or a form of elimination during this match because they want to keep him strong. And so instead, Otis, they put in the match, and he suffered an elimination here. So I was really surprised, a clean sweep out of the gates. But as you said, Team Raw had the bigger set of dudes, so a lot to get through real quick. So first things first, Seth Rollins, first one getting eliminated. He comes into the ring, and the whole time he's on the ropes, he's like in a trance. Like he's like, you could tell he's like lost. He's like thinking about something else. So I don't know if he's still just upset with his loss.
He's about to be a father.
True. Yeah. For kayfabe's sake, I was just trying to break it down. But no, we all know. Becky is very much pregnant. Those recent news photos.
He's thinking about that.
Yeah,
that's why he's like, "Oh God, I got to get out of here."
He's like, "Oh my God, I'm going to be a dad soon."
Yeah.
But for kayfabe's sake, we've seen on SmackDown the last couple weeks he took the big loss to Ray, then Murphy this week. So he's very distraught over his losing streak, and he comes into the ring, and he just gets on his knees and says, "For the greater good." And he just has Sheamus go ahead and bro kicks him and takes the pin 1, 2, 3 and is eliminated. So a little bit shocking. So I don't know if this is a way to write him off TV now. But Richard, do you think with this loss for Seth Rollins, this is a way of writing him off TV for a while so he gets ready for Becky to give birth / his paternity leave?
Yeah, I think most likely we're going to see him pop up on SmackDown and so that he needs to go find himself or something to that effect.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I think between 2 losses on SmackDown, his elimination in Survivor Series, they could probably, maybe he can have one little promo this coming Friday on SmackDown and just says, he needs to go find himself, goes on a journey. But that was great. Later in the match, we saw the big hosses. Tommy and I were geeking out. Keith Lee and Otis going at it. Tommy just...
I just love seeing 2 powerhouses just lock up like that. It's great stuff.
And Richard, I know you weren't here in the room, obviously, with us, but I said, oh my God, it's Natural Disasters 2020. And then sure enough, Corey Graves said it right after me. I was like, of course, he's going to get all the credit for the natural disasters.
When you coined it first.
I said it in this room, our office here. Literally, I said that, and then like a minute later, he said it. I was like, oh man. But what'd you
bastard, Corey Graves.
Yes, the conspiracy theorist that he is, which we'll get into later. But what'd you think of? Is there anyone's performance that stood out for you tonight, Richard, in that opening match? AJ was doing pretty well.
Yeah, but you expect that from AJ at this point. I mean, he if he can have a good match with Dean Ambrose, he can have a good match with anyone.
Totally.
Look, Keith Lee just stole the show, I think, just like he did last year. So
yeah, his feats of strength in this match was great. Otis, we saw him do the worm, cool. I feel kind of bad for him as far as where he was like a couple months ago to where he's at now. Doesn't have Mandy, doesn't have the Money in the Bank briefcase.
I get that, but there's also a story there, and you look at like he's in that match and look at the 18 other people that were in a battle royal that no one watched.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. So
he's still getting highlight. He's just not. He's not. He's not on top of the mountain. He's in the middle.
Well, I mean, as we saw on SmackDown recently, him and Chad Gable are kind of forming a partnership, or Chad's like mentoring him, whatever you want to call it. So I wonder, where's that going to go? And is this going to be some kind of make good for what he's been through lately? So we'll see on that one. But, I mean, Kevin Owens, I was bummed to see him lose so early on. I love Kevin Owens. King Corbin, whatever, goodbye. But Seth Rollins, early eliminated. I had a feeling, and Tom and I were talking, we were wondering, like, with Jey Uso, like the last one for SmackDown in there, was he going to pull like this ultimate comeback, very much like Dolph Ziggler did a few years ago, and like take out all 5 of them by himself, and that way impress his cousin, Roman Reigns? Nope. He ate a pin as well and got eliminated. And yeah, Team Raw wins. So I'm curious, how they're going to play up this maybe on Raw. Usually in Survivor Series, once the show's over, everyone goes back to their separate ways. Their current storylines kind of pick up again. But I wonder if there's any way they're going to play off this, like, yeah, let's celebrate on Raw tomorrow night, party for a clean sweep. So I still love AJ as the unofficial captain.
The skipper.
Yeah, the skipper. And I saw a lot of people online were saying maybe the reason Seth jumped out or got eliminated so early, he just didn't want to deal with Matt Riddle because, there was that ongoing alleged feud that Seth said he never wants to face Riddle in the ring. He does not like him, not a fan of him.
Oh, so. I don't even know about this.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I haven't known about this either.
Okay, long story short, apparently Matt Riddle's wife posted something on social media making fun of women's physiques or something, because I think she's like very much like a health person and works out. Posted a photo of Becky as one of the photos of someone who doesn't take care of themselves or works out better. Seth Rollins saw that, was very pissed off that Matt Riddle's wife was ultimately using Becky Lynch as an example of, making fun of her look and stuff. So Seth, obviously, baby mama with Becky Lynch. So anyway,
we also saw a few years ago that Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks would never have a match with each other. So
yeah,
and that's been proven wrong. It's not really up to them.
Yeah, exactly. So, but nonetheless, happy for Team Raw, and hopefully maybe do some fun celebration, like I said, on Raw this week to make up for it. Next up, arguably maybe the most athletic match of the night. So it was the Raw Tag Team Champions, New Day taking on Street Profits, SmackDown Tag Champions. Wow, what a match.
This was my match of the night.
Really?
Like, nothing topped this for me.
As far as just overall, just
a great, entertaining, great match. You could tell right off the bat they were going kind of slow, and you could tell they were feeling each other out, and then it just was like pedal to the metal.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just really cool. Obviously, like, all 4 of them are, like I said, arguably the most athletic guys on the roster. And so it was very high flying, but also some great storytelling there. First off, real quick, New Day comes out to the ring. Big E joined them, and they had like their costumes from the video game that they're in. I think it's Full Gear or something like that. So for anyone wondering what those outfits were, it's for a video game that they're going to be a part of.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. But at the same time, I was a little hesitant about Big E coming out with them because they just had their whole farewell, goodbye, breakup thing a month ago, wherever it was. So, like, I was hoping they might keep them a little more separated before they would actually reunite in the ring at some point.
I think this was more so for the video game.
And that's the thing. Money talks. At the end of the day,
it's all promotion.
Money talks, promotion talks, and that video game, I'm sure they want to, promote the hell out of it. And you got the New Day in there. So, yeah, I'll let that slide. I'll suspend my disbelief for the one night only. So, but this matchup, I love the storytelling as far as, okay, we know that Montez Ford, one of the best frog splashes ever, gets so much air. But the story of that New Day attacking his gut.
That was like an Eddie Guerrero style frog splash, but with the height of Rob Van Dam.
Absolutely,
yes, good
absolutely.
comparison. Yes,
so
that was crazy. I was so glad that they kept showing that because it was just like, God damn, he got like 6 feet up in the air.
Yeah, so I love that story as far as New Day. Xavier Woods, need him in the belly. So I guess if he was going to attempt a frog splash, it would hurt him just as much hurting his opponent because his gut is all beaten up. So I liked it. He nailed the frog splash, and yet he rolled over and couldn't make the pin because he was in pain. So great little psychology there.
Did Montez Ford grew up having a swimming pool in his backyard with a diving board?
Maybe.
And a trampoline.
And a trampoline,
yes. It's amazing. Like, he must have, like, super strong calf muscles or thighs or something. So, or maybe Bianca Belair, she's a former track star, so maybe she's helped him with his legs and stuff. But yeah, he's such an amazing talent.
Sure, she's helped him with his legs.
So, but nonetheless, a tremendous athletic match, and I was shocked. Street Profits got the victory here. I was kind of anticipating New Day get the win because they're veterans, but kudos to them for putting Street Profits over, and I think hopefully this will get some new fresh momentum going for Street Profits on SmackDown moving forward. And hey, it was two baby faces going at it, so I love just the good sportsmanship after the match where they all hugged it out and raised each other's hands. So
I didn't like that.
You don't like good sportsmanship?
I know.
You just want them to be men and just
should have punched him in the face. We should have saw some teeth fly.
Just have sour grapes amongst the teams,
Yeah.
Next up was for representing Raw for the United States Championship. It was Bobby Lashley taking on Sami Zayn, who's the current Intercontinental Champion on SmackDown.
What a douchebag! Sami Zayn is such a douchebag.
As far as just his whole persona, or
this show was like an old NWA show. Like, it was straight up wrestling because it's like Sami Zayn just running around like a chicken shit. Yeah. And like trying to avoid it, but still trying to like look tough, like egging everyone around the ring on. But he's like, oh, I'm not afraid of any of you. I'm not afraid of any of you.
Kind of like Tully Blanchard.
Yeah, but then he gets he falls down and he blames MVP for it. And
he tripped me.
Yeah.
And then Corey Graves, as Tommy's pointing out, was like Mr. Conspiracy Theorist. Yeah, he tripped him. I saw it. And like,
that match was booked exactly the way it should have been.
Yeah, there's pros and cons. Like I said, I found it entertaining. I enjoyed it. I love how Hurt Business, the other members in their suits, lined up around the ring and, kind of trying to keep Sami Zayn, on track, focused.
The enforcers.
Yeah, they keep him, keep the match, in place. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, God, Sami Zayn's the Intercontinental Champion, but he's such like a chicken ass champion, just as far as he's complaining all the time. I wonder if we'll ever get maybe the more old school Sami Zayn as far as, the more wrestling technical match.
I don't think when you look at those two, I think it would have been wrong to do a more technical match. Like, I think that's the way wrestling should be when you've got a guy that is Bobby Lashley. Like, Bobby should have competitive matches with guys of equal size or greater or a little bit smaller, But like a guy that's that much smaller than Bobby Lashley, he should eat him up the way he did.
Yeah, right. It was great seeing getting it beat him up. He was like a personal crash test dummy. Sami Zayn was for Bobby.
Yep.
I love you at the one point where Bobby, had him up in the air, and landed, threw him down, and Sammy started complaining about vertigo, which is a callback to their rivalry a couple years ago. So great, continuation of part of their old storyline. So that was very cool. But yeah, the match played out how I thought it was going to play out, as far as Bobby Lashley just beating the crap out of him. That was great. Hopefully, I anticipate what's going to happen now, probably moving forward on SmackDown, is maybe Sammy's just going to be that much more pissed off that he lost and got his ass kicked, and he's going to be more paranoid, or people are going to make fun of him for it, and it's going to set him off some more. So for Hurt Business, great win for them, that they can use that moving forward. It's like, yeah, we took care of business at Survivor Series. Bring it on, whoever wants to take us on. And for Sami Zayn, it's a whole way for his story to keep going as well. So love that as well.
I don't mean to jump the gun so far, but I feel like the Royal Rumble is going to be very interesting this year with the Hurt Business.
As far as just their role in it, and
I don't foresee any of them winning the match. However, a few years ago, do you remember when all the Wyatts were in at the same time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, helped each other out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're going to see something similar to that.
That'd be great. Yeah. And as we talked about, I talked with Philip the other day. So it was announced that Tropicana Field, the home of the Tampa Bay Rays, the baseball stadium, is going to be the new home of the Thunderdome starting December 11th for the next few months. So Amway Center, their deal wraps up soon, and NBA and NHL is going to start up. So those arenas are all going to be taken up. So they're going to move to a baseball stadium.
December 2nd, you said, right?
December 11th.
11th.
Yeah. So Royal Rumble is going to be there, and Raw, SmackDown, other pay-per-views. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to set things up for a TV show and then a pay-per-view and a baseball field. So that's going to be something very fun to look forward to.
Do you think that they should change the theme for the shows to Tina Turner's Thunderdome?
Mad Max 3 Beyond Thunderdome?
Yeah, I think that that would get the people really into these shows a lot more than they already are.
So you want to have it more of a kind of post-apocalypse theme, you would say. Yeah, okay.
Like Tupac's music video for California Love.
I think everyone should dress similar to Rhea Ripley, and that they should have torches like the Ring.
Oh, like in Escape from New York, when Kurt Russell's characters took on Ox Baker.
Yeah, it's a true story.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Master Blaster coming out as well.
Yeah.
That could be, if they could really totally do that for Royal Rumble. Really have that whole post-apocalyptic theme. That would be pretty cool.
I do want to say I felt by the end of this show, Survivor Series, that there was a missed opportunity, that they should have had a ton of the Undertaker's kind of gimmicks around the ring or in the building. You like all of the caskets and the tombstones and these giant symbols. Like they should have done the old set type of design
for the decor.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Total. I mean,
do you think they should have had like a bike out there for like his American Badass gimmick? Okay.
Yeah.
Like a Harley or something.
Yeah. That's the
line
thing.
the aisleway with it or something.
Yeah.
I mean, what in the last 15 years, 20, I'm trying to think of the timeline. For WWE, their sets, they've gone more of the actual just like LED screens and used that to just show lights.
Yeah, and they look absolutely incredible.
But yeah, I do miss like actual physical props and to set up and use. I mean, hence why Howard Havoc was so good this year.
TLC is the only one we see that with now.
Yeah, as far as tables, ladders, and chairs set up everywhere. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't know what the reasoning is, but I would love to see more decorations and things set up around the entranceway and whatnot, and combine it with the light show and the visual side of thing with the screen. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm old school like that. I mean, the old 90s WCW sets were always awesome to look forward to.
Yeah.
So next up, it was a match that I was looking forward to. Asuka not defending, but representing Raw Women's Championship, taking on Sasha Banks, the SmackDown Women's Championship. I mean, this was also close for me, Richard, as a match of the night as well.
Same. Absolutely.
Yeah, dude, just, God, it's... Did they... Okay, please remind me, did they ever face off against each other in NXT? I mean, because Sasha's already gone.
Bayley was the last of the four horsewomen in NXT, and Asuka beat her for the belt.
Okay. So, okay, yeah.
I will say this about this match that I thought was really a good thing, is that Asuka wrestled down to her level and didn't make her look weak.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we know that Asuka is
like the best worker.
Yeah, she could wrestle some of the men easily.
Yeah.
Yes.
But this was just kind of, she didn't eat her up, and there was moments where she could have, and she still got her really good spots in and didn't lose anything by losing. It's kind of the Austin Bret Hart scenario where it's like, well, Sasha just gets over a little bit more and it doesn't hurt Asuka at all.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows Asuka is a total pro. I mean, that's how awesome she is. She can go out there and tell an amazing story and work and make Sasha look like $1 million and, you know, help her out at the same time. So it was amazing athleticism. Number of the false finishes taking place here. My heart was Asuka. I said this, with our predictions video. My heart is Asuka. I want Asuka to win, but it kind of makes sense Sasha Banks winning, because now the news story as far as Sasha Banks goes is that before she win a championship, can never defend it. She always loses it in the first match when she can never retain. But she finally beat Bayley to retain the championship. Now, while this match had no titles on the line, it's the next big match for her. And so a win is important as well, just to keep that winning streak going now. So anyway, it was a great story here. They both looked awesome. I was surprised as far as another clean finish here, because I was kind of anticipating that maybe Carmella might get involved, you know what I mean? And maybe cost Sasha Banks the match here. So, but like I said, it was a clean victory here. So I was super surprised, but at the same time, I think that's the one thing as well. Like Survivor Series, as we said before, it's just exhibitions. It feels like an all-star game, no major stakes on the line. So I think a good way to at least please the fans is having just good, solid wrestling matches with clean victories. So that way people can still walk away happy. So that's what's happy.
It also kind of shows you that we're going to get a restart this week with a lot of new stories.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so. And I think there's some great stuff that they can carry on moving forward, both on Raw and SmackDown. I mean, for the women's division, for Drew, there's so many different new stories that they can kind of adapt and take on. So, Tommy, anything else for Sasha and Asuka you want to mention?
No.
Okay, good. All right. So next up, it was another traditional 5-on-5 match. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown from the women's side of things. And I guess for the story for Team Raw, it was the whole bullying scenario that really came into effect here. As far as Lana, I guess the team did not want Lana on the team. They told her after she I like Lana. I think she's, gorgeous and whatnot, but I know she's not the best wrestler, but I have sympathized with her because of all the table spots she's taken over the last 2 months.
A weak answer, Danny.
It's a
shame on you.
Diplomatic answer. You should know that.
She told me she won't come on this podcast.
I've interviewed Lana before.
She said that's why she won't come back on.
Oh, come on. But she had one little moment in the ring, and then when she got taken out, they all yelled at her, stand on the steps right there, and the whole rest of the match.
I love that.
It was like, go stand in the corner.
She stood in the exact same place. It was great.
Which is, God, very disciplined just to stand right there and do her thing. But yeah, other than that, any takeaways from this match here that you enjoyed?
I like this one a lot more than I like the men's match because it was harder to call. I think that they really got to showcase the Riot Squad in a different light. I loved the frequent tags that they kept doing on Nia.
Okay.
That showed me that they can beat them. Like there's a strategy to beat Nia and Shayna, and you could hear it in the crowd too because I watched it in my room alone, so I didn't have anything to distract me, and I could just hear that that crowd noise was a little bit louder when they just kept tagging and beating the crap out of her. Also, we got to see even more athleticism out of Bianca Belair than we've seen before. Mm-hmm. And I got a glimpse of I think Bianca and Nia Jax could even headline like an Evolution pay-per-view down the line. Like you establish Bianca a bit more, and that's a match I want to see, and that's not something I've said about Nia Jax in forever.
Yeah. You brought up some good points here. One, I thought this match really did showcase Bianca Belair, her athleticism, her will to not quit in the ring, and also Peyton Royce. Peyton Royce had some great moments as well.
Yeah,
her spot. So I think Bianca Belair, Peyton Royce were like the two winners as far as showcasing their talents, and hopefully they can be the ones to get some pushes finally, specifically for Peyton Royce, because the rumor was she was going to get, they broke up the Iconics for her, and we still haven't seen anything for it. She's still just been aligning herself with Lacey Evans. But I love one of the spots she did was Corey Graves says, "Oh, it was a perfect 10 right there." So I think a little wink to her husband, Sean Spears.
Who?
Ty Dillinger.
Who?
Ty, 10, the perfect 10.
Mr. Perfect?
Yeah,
he's dead.
His son.
Tommy, who's he talking about?
He doesn't know.
I have no idea.
So, I was very shocked that Bayley was the first one eliminated for Team SmackDown, just because, like
it's Bayley,
but she's like the former, longest reigning champion for SmackDown. So that was a very interesting story beat right there.
I gotta say, I really liked that Natalya was wearing blue.
Yeah,
I thought that the blue instead of the pink traditional heart stuff it looked better on her.
Oh yeah, but even Bianca Belair's outfit, apparently she makes her own outfits, so it was cool, like the sequence there for Team SmackDown. So
she's the craftiest now too.
Yes, exactly. So I wonder, as you said, as far as the Riot Squad having a good showing against Nia Jax, I wonder if Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler might come over to SmackDown, because theoretically the SmackDown women's champions can go from each brand. So maybe Riot Squad could be the next ones up to challenge those tag titles. And maybe, Nia Jax and Shayna can come over to SmackDown, and, they can start a little program there. I'll be for that, just to give them something to do.
Those titles need to start touring a bit more on the other shows.
Absolutely.
I would really like to see them defended as well against Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez.
I would love for someone on NXT to have some time with those titles, get a title reign down there.
Yeah.
That'd be great for NXT, but
a little more variety.
Yeah. Just keep things fresh, moving around. Absolutely. And so it was just amazing.
It's only the Kabuki Warriors are the only team to actually do that. Was it with Team Kick?
No.
Was that who it was?
Was it Bayley and No.
Dakota.
They just showed up in the crowd.
Dakota and Tegan against the Kabuki Warriors.
I think so. Yeah. Earlier this year. So, no, I'm with you. They should do that more often. But apparently, Vince or whoever thinks NXT is still its own universe. So.
Well, then just don't have a title change. Just have the match. If he doesn't care, then hey, Vince, you won't mind if I use these two
for one night at least. Yeah. I would love that as well. But the story of the finish was obviously Bianca Belair or Shayna Baszler. Had Bianca Belair. She fell against the ropes and the choke, and the ref was trying to break. It's like her arm is on the rope, like let her go, and she didn't. Yeah. So she got DQ'd. And then they take Bianca outside. Bianca wakes up, and her and Nia start going at it, and she pushes them into the steps, and then they flip over the wall and don't get back in the ring in time for the 10 count. So Lana, who did her job, stood on the steps the whole time, was the sole survivor and won it for Team Raw. So what do you think about that finish?
I loved it because you predicted it on our prediction thing yesterday, and you almost said it as a joke. Like, what if Lana's just like the last one somehow?
Yeah.
I do think that I think it would be only fair now for Nia Jax to put Lana through a flaming table like they did in ECW tomorrow night.
Her and Shannon's redo 3D Team 3D.
We haven't had a burn victim as a character on the show, so
Kane stop.
Oh god damn it! A female burn victim. Then someone's gonna tweet at us that they remember something.
But no, okay, I know some people were complaining on Twitter and stuff. I enjoyed it because it shows that the bullies did not win. The bullies thought they were going to get their way, but it actually backfired on them. And Lana wins, and she was able to celebrate. Kind of a feel-good moment for her. So that's how I interpret it as far as the entertainment side of things. So it
was highly entertaining. I loved it.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't see it coming, and it was great. It was a good surprise right there. So I'm all for that. All right, jumping to the main event of the night. It was WWE Champion Drew McIntyre taking on Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Whew, man, what an awesome match this was. Tommy, I mean, you were loving this match as well, am I right?
Yeah, just the it was just a stripped down quality wrestling match, Well,
the hard hitting.
Yeah, it was very hard hitting.
Going around all over the ring, using all aspects of it.
Yeah.
The back and forth, the counters. I mean, I love that.
I felt like this is the first time we got to see the new Roman Reigns at what he's going to be doing in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think his first couple matches with Jay were
telling a story,
different story. Now this is Roman as a heel performing in the ring against someone that he really wants to beat the crap out of. Mm-hmm. Real quick, before I forget, you notice at the entrance for Drew McIntyre, he tried to put the sword down, and I don't know if he missed the hole, but it kind of went in kind of crooked and all. And the sword was like, instead of being directly down,
it just leaned on.
It was like leaning. So I don't know if he missed the hole and just let it go.
Or he broke it.
Or maybe he broke the sword.
Broke it.
And then Paul Heyman's in the ring, and you could tell like he's like trying to stay in character, but you could tell he's like, what just happened? You screwed up. But so they're trying to recreate his entrance from Raw this week, which was very much a WrestleMania-esque entrance right there. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But Richard, your whole takeaways from this main event here.
I really, really liked it. I thought it was like Tommy said, it was really physical. It was a wrestling match. The false finishes at the end were great because like I couldn't call it from start to finish. So, and I didn't have like a pony in the fight as to which one I really wanted to win. So it was just kind of sit back and appreciate it for what it was, and it was really good.
Yeah, I was telling Tommy, it felt like an old school match, but an old school as far as, well, I guess referring to old schools like 20 years ago now. It's like something from the early 2000s.
It's like seeing Austin and Undertaker or DDP and Sting, Like you like them both, but like, shoot, I'll just sit here and enjoy it.
That's the thing. I guess, I don't know, for our audience, like when we say old school, do we mean like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago now? I mean,
it's all the same.
I know, right?
It's all the same.
Like, it's just in the past. That's all we mean. A previous generation.
Yeah, I just want to comment about Drew McIntyre that, in this day and age, like in a great mass of like WWE's wrestlers, you only have like 3 moves from these guys, and that's it, streamlining. And then all of a sudden, Drew McIntyre just bust out with new stuff and various actual, wrestling moves, like the counter, reverse Kimura lock, when he countered from that spear. That was something, that was just really unique.
Yeah. So I guess, to sum it up, what Tommy's saying is just, you would think you kind of know everyone's arsenal or what to expect, what type of match they're going to deliver. But Drew, surprised us with some new stuff. Like, I love the counter.
The spine buster.
Yeah, the spine buster.
Yes.
But also, when Roman went to throw a Superman punch, Drew counter ducked and grabbed him and flipped him into a DDT. I was like, that was awesome. Like, that was so cool. And Drew, as you said, did the submission hold. I was like, whoa, like, this is great. Like, this is stuff out of Drew's arsenal that we haven't seen.
It's quite refreshing.
Yeah. And so back and forth, I love Roman had the golden glove, like Thanos type of the gauntlet glove on him. So the back and forth going outside, the table spot, the spear through the wall behind the counter, the broadcast table. It was like hard hitting, just back and forth, just two beasts of like equal powers going back and forth. So, we were thinking, how's this going to end, though? Because they're both the champions of their respected shows. There's going to be some sort of a dusty finish, a wonky finish, an overbooked finish. So the story earlier tonight was after Team SmackDown lost, Jay and his brother Jimmy were outside the locker room. Roman, and Paul Heyman come out and tell him, like, you lost, like, get out of the arena. And so we thought he was gone for tonight, but sure enough, Jay comes back out and ultimately helps his cousin. He super kicks him, I think, and then Roman did a spear as well. And so ultimately, Drew did his best to counter both, and it was holding his own against both of them, but unfortunately, just the numbers game outdid him, and so Roman got the victory. And so,
really, really strong finish, I thought.
Yeah. So for Drew's sake, even though he lost, he still looks strong in defeat as far as trying to take down two guys at once. Jay was
nobody was buried on this show, like besides Sami Zayn, but that was like it needed to be that way.
It was character. Meant to happen.
Yeah. But I was going to ask you, so Jay is up the ramp and Roman's walking up, and you kind of think, is Roman going to be pissed because Jay didn't leave the arena or he got involved in his own match, his business? But nonetheless, he embraced him, and they both held up the title, or Roman held up the title with his arm around his cousin. So do you think everything's good in the hood between the two of them?
I think that's Roman's way of signaling him, you're getting it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that's what we do. That's what the Samoan dynasty does.
Any means necessary.
Any means necessary.
You got to, play against the rules. Be dirty.
That championship represents everything for them. Their success, the reason they're at the top of this company. So any means necessary to keep that title around them.
Name another wrestling family where 3 different members have been world champion like that. I'll wait.
I was gonna say they for a while, but
the Hart family.
Yeah, maybe the Hart family.
No.
Brett's the only one to be WWE champion.
Okay.
But you got Yokozuna, The Rock, and Roman have all been WWE champion.
Yeah.
So there's a dynasty there.
Yeah, absolutely. So great main event there. I love this. I'm really curious to see how Drew's going to bounce back from this. I was surprised no Bray Wyatt interference, no Alexa Bliss, no no Randy, not even The Miz. The Miz didn't get involved. So I love, for the most part, it was a pretty clean match other than Jay, but that helps part of their story as well. So dude, love that. Survivor Series, just overall great matches, very entertaining. All right, so after that, the show theoretically was done, but as based on that finish, it was obvious now. The very final segment of the night was the farewell, the goodbye ceremony to the Undertaker, and I got a kick out of. They announced all these guests, and they pretty much brought everyone from Undertaker's past as far as friends go. I love pretty much it was BSK. Pretty much all the members except for Yokozuna, unfortunately, who's passed away, on site. Richard, your thoughts on just all the guys, the legends that came to the ring?
I was really, really happy with it, of course. Because I like all those guys.
Yeah.
It's a trip. It was a trip to hear the Godwins' music.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I thought I would never hear that again.
Yeah.
Like Midian Phineas Godwin looks so different now.
Yeah,
I know. Wait, is he a chef now?
Yeah, well, he's a chef.
Wow. Yeah, but Mark Canterbury, Henry O. Godwin looks exactly the same, but with no hair.
Right.
Like he's still built the same. His face looks the same.
Yeah.
Like these guys were in their 20s when we were watching them, but they looked like they were 40.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Out of that Arn Anderson curse.
But dude's great. Savio Vega. Like getting Savio Vega in 2020, in a WWE ring. He's been doing great things in MLW, which you should go watch, by the way. And then, God.
Well, Savio hasn't been there in 22 years.
Yeah.
Has it been that long since he's left?
Brawl for All. Brawl for All was his last thing, I think, wasn't it?
Really?
Wow.
It's crazy to think about that.
I think that was the last time we saw Henry Godwin as well.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think. Big Show, Booker T. Godfather, which is very cool because that's one of Undertaker's closest friends, even before WWE. Let
me ask you this: who stood out to you that wasn't there that you thought should have been there?
Tommy and I were talking Austin, Bret Hart, and Hogan.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't like Hogan, so
yeah. But
I was thinking Bret as well. Like they got to have Bret come out.
Yeah, no Austin. I was very surprised, but they do the Broken Skull session together.
I was kind of surprised they didn't send out Heyman and they didn't send out
Teddy Long.
Yeah.
Skyscrapers.
Dan
Spivey.
Bruce Pritchard, since Bruce was the one that managed him first in WWE.
Exactly. That was surprising as well.
And they're both there, so it's like, what's the harm in just having them come out?
Yeah. So
Dan Spivey lives in Florida, so
it was interesting. But I mean, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Kevin Nash, Big Show, and Kane came out in full gear. Like that was funny. Like, why was he in full gear versus?
I'd rather see him as Dr. Isaac Yankem, quite honestly.
But no, not Glenn Jacobs in like a suit or something.
Fake Diesel.
Is there anyone? Oh, that's right. Kane and Kevin Nash were in the ring together. They should both have a Diesel pose off or something.
Oh yeah, just like the Undertaker. Well, didn't Undertaker have like a pose off with the? Or was it who was the fake Undertaker?
It was the one of the
Brian Lee.
Yeah,
Brian Lee. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So
who he was another one that I was just kind of like, I know that they were buddies.
Yeah, aren't they
but
cousins?
Same time,
weren't they cousins or something?
No. But I know that Brian Lee, no one's seen of him in forever. Like he's not on social media. Yeah.
So
he had like a TNA run at the beginning of TNA, and then he's completely off the grid.
Really?
Yeah, but no. Overall, though, it was cool seeing them all out there. Even Rikishi. So it was cool that Michael Cole said the BSK crew acknowledged them.
Did you notice the long hug that Triple H gave Henry Godwin?
No,
I didn't notice.
I didn't notice that.
Go back and watch it because they really buddied up, and it was kind of cool to see that.
Oh, yeah, didn't they have like
the slot,
the hug,
the hog match,
the slot pin,
the slot pin, yeah.
Okay,
when he slipped, yeah,
that's right. They do have like that match together in your house.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember watching that.
Was there anyone else, I guess, besides Bret Hart that you think should have been out there that wasn't? I mean, I'm trying to think.
I was thinking The Rock, but at the same time, it's like it's The Rock. He's the busiest person on the planet. But let me think quick.
No Scott Hall.
Mick Foley was there as well. No Scott Hall. That was interesting. DDP stock him one more time.
Yeah.
I mean. You could say John Cena, but again, he's probably busy.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if they got Edge out there. I know they're trying to have that moment for when Edge comes back, but have the Brood come out.
Is what's his name? Mabel or
he's dead.
He's
dead.
away.
Right? Yeah, he passed
He's
away.
dead for quite some time.
And I know this one was a long shot. Well, never mind. Disregard that. I was gonna say Punk, but
God, no.
He's on the ban list in the backstage area. So,
can you blame him?
Yeah.
So it's cool seeing all those faces out there. I think I got them all, list them all off. So then they did this the video package. Very cool. Metallica was the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And then they come back to the ring. Vince McMahon is by himself. The rest of the ring is gone. Where'd they all go? They all cleared out.
They cleared out fast.
He's carrying a plague, clearly.
Vince McMahon ultimately, said some words and just you could tell he was getting kind of emotional, trying to keep it in, keep the Mr. McMahon.
You notice how he said WWF?
That was cool.
Yeah.
And then introduced the Undertaker, and that was very cool for him to be the one to introduce him. Very fitting. And then the fire going off around Vince. Vince is in the ring, and all the fire going off outside. That was kind of
cool. And
they
played like that techno music in the beginning.
Yeah. So
that was all from the electricity.
Oh, really?
Those were Tesla pylons.
Oh, the Tesla pylons, right?
Yeah, because when everyone was walking down to the ring, I was wondering what those were there for.
And I kept hearing
those
music
poles.
Yeah,
those poles were Teslas.
And I heard like a horn or something like that. I thought too.
It was all those.
It was all that. Okay.
Go back and watch it, and you can see like as they're moving, that's the sound that's coming out.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Undertaker comes out and more or less just sum it up, said a few words, kind of sum up his career, and just said it's time for the Undertaker to rest in peace. And more or less, I think.
Rest in peace.
So I think more or less, it's him officially announcing his retirement from pro wrestling.
Yep.
Until Vince needs him again.
Yep.
but for the time being, it's him announcing his retirement. So, Richard, your thoughts on that little promo from him?
I liked how it ended. The first couple moments of it, I was like, oh, great. Like, he doesn't know what to say. And then the way he knew where he is going, it felt like. And I love that. I thought it was really good. And I thought the hologram of Paul Bearer was really, really cool.
So cool. Oh, chills just watching that. That's like our childhood right there, the two of them.
Oh, yes.
That was so good. Oh, man.
Were you I'm sure you were watching it the way I was, where you were watching it all the way to the end.
Yeah.
I was like, is someone going to come out?
I thought that,
I'm glad they didn't. But if they did, it would have been cool if it was Austin.
One more time.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's the thing. I was thinking, okay, is this going to be like a real WWE finish? And
that's what I was thinking when everyone left the ring.
Is he going to put someone over? Someone going to attack him? Is Bray Wyatt the Fiend going to come out? But I love that it was actually just a regular traditional goodbye ceremony. Even though they had the pipe in fans and stuff, I was cool on the LED screens. They had the tombstones, the graveyard setup.
It was also really cool to see just about everybody in the Thunderdome clapping and saying thank you to her.
Yeah,
because you knew that they piped in some noise, but it's still cool when you can see people reacting like that.
Yeah, of course, it is tough that theoretically it is an empty arena for him, but I'm sure right now as we're talking, they're probably partying backstage right now. So he's got all his buddies from over the years. Dude, imagine being in that locker room right now with all them drinking and probably sharing stories.
I thought of someone that they should have had out there.
Have them in the ring?
Yeah, when everyone else was out there. Why didn't they have Michelle McCool come out?
I don't know. He's keeping kayfabe alive.
Well, come on.
Undertaker's not married.
Will you stop?
He's married to the business.
Oh my God.
So
not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah, listen, I thought this was a great way to kind of wrap up the 30-year career. I've said this before. I think there's going to be still more farewells once fans can come into the arenas again. WrestleMania, who knows what WrestleMania next year or the year after. Next year, if it's going to be Tampa Bay, following year LA. I still think they're going to have more moments for him. This is just the beginning, phase one of more goodbye ceremonies for him. But what a way to go out, though.
I still wouldn't be 100% surprised if he doesn't get hired on at some point as part of the creative team.
That would be interesting. Like a trainer or like a mentor or something. Yeah.
Just hearing him on those Last Ride documentaries, and it's just like, God, he's so much sharper than everybody.
Could he be like a road agent?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or like I said, head of creative, because he seems to know his character and whoever his opponent's character better than anyone. So it's just no brainer. This guy's got something that few people have.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. And so thank you, Undertaker, for 30 plus years of phenomenal wrestling and entertainment all these years for us. And, here we are, years later, we get to watch all of
Mark.
it. Yeah, me, Mark Calloway. We'll get that shirt on www.shop.com. So, great show overall, a lot of fun, and kudos to everyone involved for just putting on such an incredible, entertaining show for us. So, on that note, let's get out of here. Richard, where can all the Kliqsters find you online?
You can find me over at Pro Wrestling 101 on Instagram and nowhere else.
You should follow Richard on Instagram. He's been doing the whole Undertaker tribute all weekend long.
Quality content.
So many great memories and flashbacks of just our youth and watching all that stuff, just reliving all that. So thank you, Richard, for sharing all that.
Thank you.
There was more videos, people, but I got flagged.
Oh, you did?
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. No. But some of the ones that I have on there still, I'm surprised didn't get flagged.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, no, check it out while you can. And then, Richard will be adding more cool stuff. All right, Tommy, where can the Kliqsters find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at IronFist1982. Give me a follow.
Follow me on Facebook at Baby Huey Official, Twitter and Instagram at Baby Huey 83. And like I said, subscribe to In The Kliq, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, also Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And please rate, comment, share the podcast. We love all the continuous support. And on that note, let's go home. And that's the bottom line, because Huey said so.